everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you guys are new. For today's video, I'm going to be going over 12 different tips for beginner makeup artists. So I have covered something like this on my channel before, but I did it from a different perspective. I did it more from a business standpoint as opposed to the actual artistry of being a beginner makeup artist. I know a ton of you are beginners and you guys have told me that on this channel before. So definitely comment down below if you guys have any additional questions, or if you guys really enjoy this content, go ahead and give me a big thumbs up here. And also subscribe to the channel if you guys have not already, because I do upload a ton of makeup artist related content. The very first thing is that beginner makeup artists should not be focusing on the products in their kit necessarily, but be focusing on their actual skill set and also how they use those products. That being said, I know that we're living in a world here where every single makeup artist on social media and online is just basically harping on the products that you need in your makeup kit. And I mean, I for one do the same thing. So I mean, I'm not by any way trying to make this a double standard thing, but I mean, it kind of is at some point. Whatever products work for one artist does not necessarily work for another artist. For instance, I always get asked what kind of foundations and what kind of concealers that I use in my kit. And to be honest, there is a whole entire plethora of different foundations and different concealers and different formulas. Foundations can come in liquids, creams, and also powders. And unless you start working as a makeup artist and get out in the field and get experience, you're never gonna know what formulation you're most comfortable working with until you actually do it yourself. I'm super comfortable working with liquid foundations. I do have a couple of cream palettes in my kit, as you guys have known, but I don't ever really reach for them, whereas one of the artists that I know in town does only use cream products on people. So it's really hard to basically tell somebody that you only need these liquid foundations in your kit, because another person may feel more comfortable using creams and then they may never get use out of that liquid foundation. It just kind of depends though how you work, and I can't really tell you guys necessarily what the right way and right answer is necessarily of what products to put in your kit. That's why I would highly suggest looking at the video that I posted 2 videos ago now, and that's basically talking about the beginner products that you would need in your freelance kit. Not really like need, but the ones that I highly suggest to put in your kit because they are very beginner friendly. And I also gave a ton of different options as far as different consistencies as far as products and everything, so I would definitely check out that video. I will be linking it up above here. Sorry, I just went off on a huge tangent there. But basically my main point is that we live in a society where everybody's harping on makeup kits and what products they need to put in there, and beginner makeup artists are so overwhelmed and so like oversaturated with the products they need in their kit, because one artist will tell them one thing, one artist will tell them another thing, and you want to start small and then kind of start building your way up as you gain experience, and then you kind of will start adapting your kit to the way that you work. Again, as I said in the beginner kit video that I posted, the products that you put in your kit does not make you a better artist, it's how you implement those products. The second point that I want to make is work on the pressure on your clients. You don't apply the same pressure on other people as you would on yourself. Whenever I'm doing makeup on myself, I'm a complete savage. Like, I literally will sit there with a beauty blender and I'm like, and every single time I blend with eyeshadow, it's not delicate. Like, I literally will just do like windshield wiper motions. It'll be really aggressive, and I basically do it to get my makeup done. If you really think about it, you've been used to doing your own makeup on your face for however many years you've obviously been doing makeup for. I've probably been doing makeup for the last maybe 12 to 15 years, I want to say. I've literally just been going at it and doing the same stuff and the same processes over and over again, and eventually you kind of just get into a routine and you don't really necessarily focus on the pressure on yourself because you are applying makeup on yourself. But with other people, it's a completely different ballgame because you physically can't feel that pressure. And some people think that just because they can apply makeup on themselves, they can do it on other people, and no. It's an entirely different ballgame. So if any clients watching, if somebody can do makeup really well on themselves and you're thinking about hiring them for wedding makeup, please do not, because unless they've actually done makeup on other people repetitively, they probably will not know how to apply it on you. Personally, every single client that I've worked on actually compliments me on the fact that I actually have a really gentle touch, when that's really not the case when I'm doing my own makeup. So again, just work on your pressure as an artist, because that's very important. And as you're beginning, when you're doing makeup on family and friends, ask them if your pressure is okay. Ask them if they feel comfortable the whole entire time, especially when you're around the eye area. You definitely don't want your clients to be irritated or have their eyes watering the whole time, so definitely make sure that your pressure is okay. Okay, this third thing, I probably should have put this first, but practice your hygiene. Hygiene is super important. It's not just because of COVID, it's literally just because you're a makeup artist and that's what it is. It's anything basically to do with skin or being around people's faces that you just want to be super hygienic. Obviously, it's super important, especially now, But before, I really stressed that people should be very hygienic, and I don't know why makeup artists all of a sudden are like, oh yeah, you need to be super hygienic because of the pandemic and everything, and I'm like, no, nothing should have changed. Nothing should have changed if you're doing your hygiene practices the right way. Honestly, like, I have hardly changed anything as far as my sanitation procedures. The only thing I've honestly done different through this whole entire thing is wear a face mask, obviously, and then I've also started separating out my brushes into individual brush pouches as opposed to spot cleaning everything, just so I can kind of get done a lot quicker. But I feel like that's more so for time's sake, because it is basically a time saver because you don't have to clean brushes in between each person. I could literally rant about some of these things for a very long time because hygiene is just one of those things that gets me. It's not even to basically prevent the spread of COVID, it's to prevent the spread of AIDS, herpes, pink eye, things like that. I mean, you literally can produce like styes on your eye and everything, and you can literally lose eyeballs from makeup not being sanitized. But if you're doing your stuff the right way, you're throwing out your mascaras every 3 months, you're spraying everything down with alcohol, you're depotting all your cream products, you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, none of this should happen. I will be linking a video up in the cards here, and that will be going over my wedding prep that I do for my makeup kit, and that includes all of the sanitation methods that I provide and do before I go onto jobs, and that'll give you an idea of like how you sanitize all your products. Now, number 4 is something that I definitely talked about in my last beginner tips video, but it's very important, I think. So I feel like you have to get some sort of professional training, in my opinion. Obviously, there's a bunch of very talented self-taught makeup artists out there, which is fantastic, and I do kind of consider myself more self-taught. I didn't graduate from cosmetology school. I didn't graduate from esthetician school. I literally just got training with MAC for 4 years, but they do send you off for a week-long training, and you train with professional makeup artists. They teach you hygiene skills. They teach you how to apply makeup on people for different eye shapes, skin tones, age ranges, etc. They teach you how to apply false lashes the correct way. It's like they teach you everything that you need to know. So I feel like somebody actually needs to have like hands-on professional training of some sort. You can obviously watch as many videos as you want, and you can think that you know everything, but unless you guys have some sort of physical hands-on training where you have a trainer or you have an instructor that's basically letting you know tips and suggestions of how you put makeup on other people and what you need to do to accomplish this, then I feel like you aren't really like a full-fledged makeup artist, if that makes sense. But like, what's actually the fine line though that you guys think that makes you a professional versus an amateur? I do consider myself a professional personally, because even though I don't have an actual license and I don't have a certification, but I probably will be getting a certification here soon, I do consider myself a professional makeup artist because I do have about 7 years of training and doing makeup on clients for 7 years in total, and I feel like that's a really decent amount of time. And I do have enough clients now where I can stabilize my business, and I have a pretty successful one now. So I mean, I think that I'm actually doing pretty well to the point where I can consider myself a professional makeup artist. Again, that's just my personal opinion. Definitely make sure that you guys do have some sort of training or background behind your actual makeup artistry skills. Like, you can't just be going out and calling yourself a professional makeup artist with no training whatsoever. Okay, number 5 is something really minor. Basically, you need to figure out what you want to do with your non-working hand or your non-dominant hand, like whichever one you don't actually apply makeup with and everything. I'm right-handed, and my left hand hardly does anything. It literally just grabs products and then basically holds brushes and switches brushes with my other hand if it's not working or doing anything. And this is something that's not really talked about that often, but it's something that I've noticed, and it's a very minor thing. It's very minor. So if you guys don't do this or don't think about this ever again, it's really not like a big step out of this whole thing. I've either seen people that put their hand like directly on top of somebody's head, and then they'll just like sit there and be working. If you're a client that's sitting in the chair, how awkward would that be, just personally, to just like have somebody's hand just sitting right on their head? And sometimes I've seen makeup artists freaking like death grip people, and they'll be like using that hand to like turn their heads side to side. I'm so sorry. I'm really not trying to like make fun of anybody or come after a certain person or anything. I've seen multiple artists do this before. When you guys want to turn somebody's head, all you have to do is literally either hold their head like this and just like turn it slightly and then turn it the other way, or you can literally take both fingers like this and just kind of move their chin, and they'll automatically kind of get the hint and move their head for you. So it's really not something that you need to like be forceful with or anything. And this is another thing in regards to your clients. So number 6 is learning different signals from your clients. This is basically learning how to gauge your clients' reactions and their bodily reactions to different things. and it will make you a better artist. It's more so about experience though. I mean, everything about this industry is literally with experience and actually with any other industry too. But as you basically progress and as you practice more on clients and do more makeup on people, you're going to start almost gauging people's reactions to what either you're saying or whatever you're doing. And then you basically want to make sure that you accurately respond to that. So for instance, I know that a ton of makeup artists recently have basically told me that their clients' eyes are watering and that things are happening and maybe they're blinking and mascara gets all over the place. Like, it's just something, it's usually around people's eye area that this happens. For instance, when I'm doing mascara on people, I'm obviously sitting there and like doing mascara with a wand and everything. And I will take about maybe every like 2 seconds or so, I'll actually physically pull away the wand and basically let somebody blink if they need to. As you gain experience, you almost can like know when your clients are going to blink before they do. It's so weird, and I can't even tell you guys what it is necessarily, but like either their eyes will like start shaking, maybe like the lazy eye situation where they're like really trying to hold it open for you. So that's why I usually remove my mascara wand every 2 seconds or so, because I know that somebody's gonna have to blink eventually. The previous video, I actually mentioned this, so if you guys haven't checked that out, please do so. I went through an Instagram thing where I basically asked people if they've encountered any problems or situations that they couldn't really avoid or were hard to solve, and then I answered them for people on camera. So definitely go ahead and check that out because I do address the eye watering situation on that video. Okay, then number 7 is less is more, and this is in reference to the products that you're using. A bunch of makeup artists think that if you want a very, very full coverage on your clients, you basically just glob up the whole entire thing on a brush and slap it on, and that's your full coverage. No. It gets extremely cakey that way, as you guys can probably imagine, but when you're in a time crunch, it just seems like a really good time-saving kind of technique. But you definitely want to shoot for quality over quantity, so you want to make sure that you definitely build up in very, very small layers in terms of makeup. This also applies to eyeshadow as well. You don't want to go in with a super, super bold pigmented color to begin with, and then you have a really hard time trying to blend it out. So you want to make sure that you build up in small layers, so go really light at first. You can always make things darker. You can't really take away color that easily. And this even applies really with brows too, to be completely honest. Like, that's why you see people walking out with like Sharpie brows, because they put way too much product on at one time and didn't build up in layers, and that's what happens, and you get the really bold looking brows. So yeah, just make sure that you're building up in layers in general with makeup. I don't really know what else I can really say to like emphasize this, but yeah, that's pretty much all. It's really plain and simple. Just want to build up in layers. Less is more. Just remember that. And also, the less product you put on people's faces, the less that it's also going to crease and set and define lines too. Number 8 is practice on different age ranges, skin tones, skin types, etc. I know I've covered this in videos before, but it's very, very important as a makeup artist to be as diverse as possible. So you want to make sure when you're first starting off as a makeup artist to grab friends, family, whatever, all different kinds of models, and practice on all of them. And then when you actually have paying clients in the future, then whoever sits in your chair, you'll be able to do anybody. So that's a very good tip, honestly, is just practice on a wide variety of people and basically practice to the point where you just feel comfortable and don't feel nervous about applying makeup on anybody, because you already have it down. You already know the skin tone or skin type and how to deal with this age range. Like, you just need to know basically a wide variety of things as a makeup artist, because again, even if you guys aren't bridal like I am, even if you guys are on television sets, it's very, very important to basically whatever talent sits in your chair, you want to make sure that you can accurately accommodate anybody. That also goes with the products in your kit too. Just a side note. You want to make sure that you also have enough products in your kit to accommodate any single age range, skin tone, skin type, age range, whatever. So whatever talent sits in your chair, you definitely want to make sure you can accommodate them, because TV directors will not appreciate it if you literally don't have the right color in your kit to accommodate their talent for the day, because that will mess up the whole entire shoot. Moving on to number 9, I want to stress this heavily. Your clients are paying you for a service, right? So don't put the makeup look that you want on them. Like, if you are doing it for your portfolio and they aren't paying you whatsoever, then you can obviously feel free to do whatever on them. You have free range. But if they're paying clients, and especially if they are bridal clients, do what they want. It doesn't matter what your opinion about anything is. If they're happy with it, you need to be happy with it too. You can obviously steer them in different directions if you think that something isn't going to suit them, or suggestions that they have like aren't going to suit their like eye, for instance. A lot of the times I have people that have extremely like hooded eyes that want winged eyeliner, and I can't be doing that on everybody that has hooded eyes because obviously that doesn't really suit their eye shape that much. I know that a lot of artists can get caught up in this, and I've seen beginner makeup artists do this where like every single beginner makeup artist wants to do these really vivid colors and these really wild cut creases that they see on people on Instagram, and that's not what everybody wants, especially brides. If you're in the bridal industry and you're trying to do a like purple smoky eye or something, usually people are not going to be okay with that. Usually for bridal, you're sticking in the neutral tones, you're sticking in the rose gold, champagne sort of tones. As an artist and as a creative, I understand you really need to get that out of your system sometimes. So honestly, I would just pull aside friends and family, whoever wants to volunteer, throw on your dramatic makeup look or colorful makeup look or whatever you want to do that day, and then get it out of your system, and don't do it on paying clients because again, you're being paid for your services. They're paying for what they want. So definitely give them the look that they want, not the one that you want. Number 10, this is one of the things that's very hard to do as a makeup artist. Like I still even struggle with this, is learning how to talk simultaneously while you're applying makeup on people's faces. This is an entirely different skill set. Like if you guys are just beginning as makeup artists, you guys are probably like, oh no, that's like the easiest thing ever. It's really not. Even if you talk to makeup artists that have been doing this for like 30 years, it's still a really hard skill. When you're talking and you're doing anything at the same time, like if you're trying to like write something or you're trying to do a task and you're trying to talk to somebody at the same time, you either focus on one thing or the other, but you usually can't wrap your brain around it to do it simultaneously. And that's exactly where makeup artistry is a struggle too. It's like your brain either wants to focus on the actual conversation that you're having with the client because you really want to engage with that client, but at the same time, you obviously have a time crunch, you need to get makeup done. So your brain also then wants to focus on getting the actual makeup application done as quickly as possible, and then your brain forgets to talk to somebody. So that's pretty much the struggle. It's basically like an inner human struggle, to be completely honest. Like you just physically can't have your brain be focusing on two different things at one time. This leads me on to my next point, is that you need to work on your timing. Timing is very important. Obviously, if you're talking, timing really doesn't help you out that much, but you can obviously learn to work and talk at the same time, as I said before. It's really important to work on your timing no matter what industry that you're in. You just always need to work really quickly and really efficiently as an artist. The best tip that I can provide for a beginner makeup artist for this, as far as timing, is basically time yourself on different sections of your clients' faces. So if you guys start with eyes, for instance, time yourself on the eyes. If you guys do face first, time yourself on the face, and vice versa. And then see how long it takes you for each section, and then whichever section takes you the longest, try to cut down that time somehow. So either use multitasking products, you can do a more simpler look, you can just kind of figure out different ways and different techniques to like cut down that time on that section, so then overall your applications will start decreasing in time, which will be really good. So I want to say that like a pretty average time to do a makeup application would probably be about like 40 minutes. If you guys can get yourselves down to about 40 or 45 minutes, which is like where I'm at right now. I can also do a makeup application in like 30 minutes if I wanted to, but it has to be like super simple without lashes. So if you guys can cut your time, or at least maybe have like 40 to 45 minutes be the goal, then that's really ideal. And you can also take more people that way, some more paying clients. You can get a lot of business that way. And the last thing, number 12, finally, after I've made this video like 20 hours long. The last thing is basically going along with the last things that I mentioned in applications, and that's letting things go. You need to learn when to let things go. Obviously, as makeup artists and creatives and everything, we want to be as perfect as possible. To be totally honest, most of your clients probably do not wear makeup on a daily basis and don't know much about it, and that's why they hired you. So keep in mind, they probably won't know a difference if like something isn't absolutely perfect. You're always going to want to strive to be better. You're always going to strive to hit that perfection level, but there is no such thing as perfection. Like you can't actually reach it. I'm really not saying that you need to skimp on your artistry. That's not what I mean. I've gotten somebody's winged liner so sharp before that it can literally cut somebody. And for some odd reason, I still was like, I'm not happy with this. But it looked perfect. Like it did. It looked very darn close to perfect, and nobody else could probably probably tell except for me. It's like one of those things where you're just never going to be fully happy with the work that you did. And it's like your skin could always be smoother, your eyeliner could always be sharper, your blendability could always be better. As long as your client is happy with the work that you did and they don't need you to fix anything or correct anything, then that's really all that matters. They are a paying client. They are somebody in your chair that you're trying to make happy. So as long as they're happy, you should be happy too. So yeah, just don't think about it too much and just kind of let it go when you need to. And that's probably the best suggestion I can honestly make. Okay, that is it for this very long video. I am so sorry this ended up being really long and I had a couple of ADD moments and was kind of ranting for a little bit on certain things. But if you guys stuck all the way till the end of the video, please give me a big thumbs up and also tell me if you guys really like these like beginner makeup artist videos, because I've actually really enjoyed making them and I think it's really nice to basically come from a different level of artist experience and just kind of share that with other people, especially if you're beginning. And if you guys have any other video suggestions that you really want me to make, definitely comment those down below as well. I'm always open to suggestions. You guys have come up with really fantastic ones recently and I've really been enjoying it. As always, I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day and I will talk to you guys in my next video. All right, bye.